Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about motion tracking part 3 of the series. Yeah! Alright, so before I start off this video, I just want to tell you that you need a program called Boujou. You can probably find the trial on the internet, or you can download it for free somewhere on YouTube, because there's tons of videos of that. What Boujou is say you have a really long scene, like this one. Where you're constantly walking around, and you really can't just motion track on After Effects or Mocha, because Mocha you have to be kind of standing still, and you can't be moving around the camera like this, because then that will be messing it up. So let's get into editing right now. Okay, quick moment before we get started. I'd like to say you need to follow every single one of my steps in order for the track to work. Now, if you're still trying to figure out what Boujou is and what it does, go down to the description of this video, and it will explain everything. Alright. So let's go ahead and import our sequence, which is our clip. And make sure you have an easy way to get to your footage, because it's a little difficult to get to it in Boujou. Okay, so I'm not going to be using the footage that I showed you before when I was talking in front of the camera, because that is going to take a while to load all the tracker points. But that's the kind of shot you should be using in Boujou. Shots that continually going. They keep on going, and it's just, you can't really track it in After Effects or Mocha. So I'm going to be using the file that I used in my Mocha tutorial, because it's going to render very quickly. It's perfect for the tutorial. Just so I can keep things moving. Go ahead and select it and hit open. Now my move type, I'm going to keep it on free move because I'm doing a handheld shot. If you were to use a tripod, you'd use a nodal pan. And I can tell you right now, my frame rate is not 24. That's just because I know what my frame rate is. My frame rate is 29.97, but I'm going to show you how you can find your frame rate. You can either go on your camera settings and look for it, or you can go on the computer and find where you have your clip that you're going to use. So I'm going to go to mine real quick. Now if you have Windows 7, you can click on your clip, and it will tell you it right here. You just have to enlarge in this screen to full screen. As you can see, frame rate 29 frames per second. Now that does not include the decimal 29.97, but it's still the same exact thing. Now, if you do not have this at the bottom, you can go ahead and right-click on this and go to Properties. Or if you're on a Mac, you can click on this and go to Edit and then go to Properties. I'm going to go to my details. Frame rate, 29 frames per second. Okay. Now that I know what my frame rate is, I can change it. We're going to be constantly changing the frame rate just because it just keeps on changing the whole entire tutorial. Go ahead and click OK when you're done. Now what you're going to click on is feature tracking. Double click on it. And what's going to happen now is, well, just click start. And what is happening now is, if you've ever tracked something in Adobe After Effects, you know that you need to find a specific point on your screen that you can track. And that's what this is doing pretty much. It's just an automated tracking system, and it's very cool. So I'm going to wait for it to track. And once it is done, I will resume the video. Okay, so once it is all done feature tracking, you will see that you have 1,000 little tracking points moving throughout the whole entire scene. So now what we need to do is we need to go to Cameras, Camera 1, and Sequence 1, because your frame rate probably changed. And it did. So put it back to whatever it was, and hit OK. Now we're going to go to Camera Solves, and click on Optimize Camera Path Smoothness, and hit Start. It's going very fast for me, but it might not go fast for you, because your clip might be more complex than this, and it probably will be. Hopefully it will be. You shouldn't be using a clip like this in Boujou. The only reason I'm using it is because it camera solves and feature tracks very fast. This is more like a Mocha thing. Okay, so once it is done doing its camera solves, you will see that all the trackers are in 3D space, and it's perfectly goes with your clip. I'm just scrubbing through this really quickly. So as you can see, all the little trackers tracked it very nice. Now in order to open up in After Effects, we need to go to Export and Export Camera Solve. Make sure you have a file path set up so you can save it. And make sure the export type is a After Effects MA file. That means when you open it up in After Effects, it's going to come in as a new composition and scale the scene by like 1,000. This just saves time later. And go ahead and hit save. Go ahead and open up After Effects and import your stuff. First import your raw footage, and then go ahead and import your MA file. What you're going to want to do is you're going to double click your MA file, and as you can see, there's thousands of little trackers, and those are all the points that we tracked. But we need to go ahead and go up to composition and composition settings, and as you can tell, my frame rate changed again. So go and change it back to whatever it was. And hit OK. Drag in your footage on top to test it out. And as you can see, all the little trackers stick to your scene correctly. And now just drop in any effect. Like, for example, I'll put in a quick dirt hit. Drop it in over your scene. And now if you want your dirt hit to stick to your scene correctly, you're going to have to click the 3D mode here. And you can see it disappeared, so you're going to go ahead and click over here and hit scale. And just scale it up till you can find it. What it did is it just went behind the camera, so I'm going to go ahead and scale this down because it's pretty big. Okay. Let's go ahead and test it out by playing it. As you can see, even just from the looks really good. Let's go ahead and play it. As you can see, it looks like it sticks to the scene. Now, if your tracker points are moving all over the place, that's probably because you didn't follow the directions with the frame rate. It should look like this when it is all done. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that tutorial. And next tutorial, I'll be showing you camera angles.